I've got everything set up. Morning. So I sort of have everything set up. Oops. We're ready. Time to get some hours in. Well, good morning, Celia. How are you today? I've been up for, I don't know, like an hour, but I don't really feel awake yet. 7022. Good morning, girly. You're doing good. I'm glad to hear that. I think overall I'm doing well. The mornings are definitely like the hardest part, and I don't know. Just yet, when you have thoughts, they just are sometimes, I think. I don't know. I think that maybe in the mornings it's hard because, you know, it's a new day, right? So you can, like, it's a new opportunity to do something with it, to make new choices, to decide things, right? But right now it's also this reminder that it's a reminder of what's not a part anymore. Like what is not accessible to you anymore. Like, I can make choices, but not about these things. And these things are not in your present. I don't know, there's something about morning that kind of draws that a lot. It is 6:14 a.m. right now. It's not like, I don't know, I woke up at like 5, I think, so I've been awake. I have somewhere I need to be this morning, and I haven't picked up my medication yet. I need to do that also this morning. So I am on like early enough that I'm pretty certain I can still get like all my hours in today that I need to. You're never feeling good the day after chemotherapy. I mean, that's a lot flooding your system, so I imagine so, girly. I'm normally up this early. I'm just not normally like here, you know. I in a normal life, I'm stitching. I stitch my bookshelf at like 7. But between this whole last week and then this week being 24 hours across stitch or weekend, like it's just different. And I did all my treasure hunt bookshelf stitching. I did 3 days worth yesterday, so I won't be stitching that today at all. And I'll just be stitching on other things. From 5 to 6 in the morning, early bird lately at 7 to 8. 7 to 8 still is like decent. My body will, when it's not stressed, will usually wake up like with the sun. Not like with dawn, but you know, like that pre-dawn when the sky is lightening. Like I have curtains and it's dark, but you know, light still seeps in around it because they're not like 100% blackout curtains with like the side panels too. But and I know I don't wake up with an alarm clock. After 8, you feel like you're ruining your day. See, and I can't like sleep in. Like if sleep in is like past sunrise to me, and I can't do it. I don't know if that's related to being stressed or not because I've never been unstressed enough to know. But I think it's probably just my body. My body just is ready to go earlier in the day and is ready to sleep earlier in the day. That doesn't mean I go to sleep when I probably should, but funny how I can actually turn that down. Love long evenings and early morning. That's not good. You need sleep. Yeah, that. I think the evenings are like. Okay, here's what I think I have figured out is that like I want to be able to decompress from the day during the night, because during the day I'm constantly intaking whatever it is. Whether I leave the house or not, there's always things to intake and process, and my nervous system like doesn't filter out. Relevancy according to relevancy, I guess. Um, so a lot of people when they're out, they can um, dismiss certain things, like not really pay attention to them. But my nervous system like hyper focuses on all the things. Basically, like all the senses are very active, and it can be very like stimulating and overwhelming. Um, and so in my evenings, I feel like I need to decompress now. And um, I feel like a person can help me, like a significant other could help me in that decompression, but I've not really experienced that enough to know. Uh, so I'm kind of hoping that maybe medication will help a little bit with that. We'll see. I don't know. But then I won't try to like push my evenings out too long, and then the early morning, and then maybe sleep will happen. We'll see. Good morning, Tina. I'm if it seems like I'm still waking up, I feel like I'm still waking up. So I'm doing later on today I will be doing fine, but right now like I'm a little rough right now. I'm probably also struggling to wake up because I'm still below calories. Um, so I think it's just gonna take longer for waking up to be a thing that that feels normal. But I did eat chicken noodle soup last night. Um, Somebody else heated it up for me, which was very helpful, but like they set it in front of me and I like devoured it. So, like that was really good. Definitely my best eating day for sure. I think I'll be able to get maybe like 3 hours of stitching this morning. And then I will need to go. And then I will be back for like all the rest of the day. Time is it there? It's 11 a.m. You're not having a good day. I'm sorry. Let's see what we can do for you, Tina, okay? At the very least, I can keep you company a bit. It's about 6:30. 6:26 a.m. Oh, my puppy wants in. You're more creative when it's late, so when you should go to bed, you start to design or start new projects. I mean, hi. uh, I know, I'm so happy about the soup and eating more. Um, I know, sometimes good is hard. Sometimes okay is like the best that it can be. Hi, okay. um, and like that's also okay. Like it's hard, but it's okay that that's what it is, you know? I hear you, Pip. I hear you. You're gonna need to settle down. It's always, I feel like, especially here, safe to acknowledge that um, our food is really hard. It's always acknowledged when something is hard, I think. It's good. It's a good thing to do. It's okay to anyway. It's okay to not be okay. For however long that is, and for whatever reason. Okay, Pip. Your computer's probably used to you talking Norwegian, so maybe it's freaking out by how much English you're using lately. Talking to me. Pip is needing pets right now, so one-handed stitching it is. Good good thing that I can use my Lowry stand. It's definitely early enough that I don't really want to consume anything. Um, I have I have a drink, but even that, that's more because I know I need to be hydrated, not because I want to put anything in my stomach. Where am I going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Can you take me with you? Good morning, Jen. How are you? The movie was good. I was completely right that my daughter would find it hilarious. However, maybe not hilarious in the same way that any normal person would find it. She she doesn't get this from me. She likes sarcasm and she likes to roast things and people. Um and like for part of the movie, like in the beginning it was like kind of the occasional comment, and then this one song hit and her dad got in on the comments and it just fueled her comments. And I, towards the end of the song, I told them, I was like, y'all are using up your quota of snarky comments like in this one song. And they're like, oh, we gotta dial it back. I'm like, I'm okay with some, but it was like constant. What's normal? I don't know. Just like, you watch a movie and you're like, situationally, that's funny. Like, what's happening on the screen is funny. But that it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to, like, be sarcastic and stuff. Anyway, it's just, that's the way that it went for her. Like, she found it funny, but then, like, had all of these comments of, yeah. I have more English friends than Norwegian, but the dictionary is in Norwegian. You have cold weather. Nope. Oh, excuse me. You live in the wrong spot of the world. Well, it's cold. So, yeah. It was good. And I ate chicken noodle soup, so also good. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. I've been sitting here trying to figure out if I know that acronym, Jen. Like, I'm like, why does that seem like I should know it? She might. 8. yeah, like I've definitely been trying to. I don't see, and I don't know Mystery Science Theater 3000, but she also likes. I know she likes the what is it called? The show where things go wrong or something like that. She finds that one very funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not everyone is as nerdy as you. My guess would be that her dad has encountered it before, but not me. I just know that I know the name and not much else beyond that. I am on early. And my brain is like really, really sluggish right now. I woke up at like 5, and since I have to be somewhere for a portion of the morning, this just allows me to get my hours in right now. That's all. I am always very determined to get my 24 hours in. It's usually colder that time. I mean, yeah, it's January, so it's the Australians that get to, and New Zealanders who get to warm everything up right now. I don't really have a plan for what I'm going to stitch all day today. I might just stick with this piece. I was going to stitch on it a minimum of an hour and a half, but I might just go the full 3 hours on this one. You normally never find people in your time zone up at this time. I'm almost always up at this time. I'm just not always like, well, it's not like I live stream all the time normally either. But I am normally awake anyway. Mm. What I need to be is better at going to sleep earlier, but a lot of times that's just not possible. Nope, me neither. Even times when I feel like I've got the hours, which isn't often, um, but even when I feel like I have the hours, I wake up and I'm like, I don't feel rested at all. And it wasn't until I got my sleep tracker that I've realized, um, or learned that I don't feel rested because my heart rate isn't doing appropriately resting things at night. Which is usually, well, which can be due to many things, but for me, it's a due to stress thing. Oh, when do I go to bed? 10:30 or 11, probably, is normal. Sometimes closer to 10, but a lot of time there's evening activities that mean I'm up, and then I still need to decompress. So it's usually harder to go to sleep before then. And then I just wake up whenever I wake up. On the bad nights, that means I'm up at like 3 or 4 and unable to go back to sleep. Normally it's closer to 6 when I wake up though. Midnight last night, so yeah, you're short on sleep tonight, Jen. For several years, you got max 4 hours of sleep. Yeah. I understand. There were a lot of times I would just like wake up and, not be able to sleep again. I mean, like, if you cannot sleep, then there's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's not like you're trying to stay awake right there. Ah, but Jen, you've got caffeine running in your blood. So, there's that, too. I don't know when I function best because I know part of the reason is that I don't feel rested at night. I feel like if I'm rested at night, then, 7 hours would be just fine for me. I could be wrong about that, but I just do the best I can with whatever I get because that's all I've got available to me. How long is my string here? You never feel rested. For many years, I didn't know why I didn't feel rested. Because when you look up like all the sleep help, it's all focused around like going to sleep. And I was like, well, going to sleep isn't my problem. Normally I can go to sleep just fine. It's staying asleep and feeling rested when I wake up. That's the problem. And now I understand that like when you sleep, your heart needs to drop, like your heart rate needs to drop. So there's a lot of things that can affect your heart rate dropping. Like if you especially eat heavier or bigger meals the closer to bedtime, then your body is still digesting it when you go to sleep. So your heart rate can't drop because it's still working. Sometimes if you exercise, depending on who you are, exercise can either help your heart rate drop or help keep it elevated. So timing of your exercise could make a difference. Another factor is stress. Like if you feel stressed, your heart rate isn't going to drop at night adequately. So I have noticed that the nights when my heart rate does decide to drop adequately, I'm okay. Like I feel rested. Really everything in my, like everything I'm doing right now has to do with like how, like, can I feel rested? Like less stress, I mean. I can't really imagine sleeping only an hour at night at all. Although in my early 20s, let's see, how old was I when Kaylin was born? I was like 22, 23, 21. How old was I? Uh, she was born in 22. I was 22. Anxiety equals always stressed for you. See, and when I say it's not always anxiety, I think, when I feel stress, but anxiety absolutely is part of feeling stress. I do think I have a warped idea of what anxiety probably feels like, or what stress feels like, because I just don't know what it is like otherwise. Which is a very new realization for me. Let's see, is green hearts a symbol I can do? I can't even find that on this. Where is it on this? No, it's a full cross. Not doing that one yet. Okay, let's do this one. 6D17. Three strands. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. 1, 2, 3. The only time I totally remember which ones are which the sympathetic and parasympathetic is like when I'm reading about it. I just know one is like the stress one and one is the like calm down one. And it's not even like I haven't read about it many times, because I have. It just gets boiled down into basic knowledge rather than specific knowledge. Oh, like a parachute. See, and the thing is, I think when I think parasympathetic, I think of like paramedics when they're like rushing to where there's damage, hurt. Which I think is why I keep confusing which one is which. I forgot what I was doing. I thought I was one stitch further than I actually was, so I pulled my yarn out. Maybe if I knew what the actual is para gonna be Greek or Latin, but if I knew like the root para. Beside, next to, it's Greek. In Latin, it's defense or protection against, that which protects from. To ward off. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing very well at starting this thread. Oh dear. Like I keep pulling the tail out. The body is a tricky thing, girly, and it's affected by, everything is affected by all the things, so. Okay, Celia. I'll see you around. Thank you. You do that too, but it's not helpful to your intro students. That's too bad that it's not helpful. One of the things that was part of my homeschool during my earlier years, like I think I was included because of my older sisters, not because I was quite ready for it. But we did Latin and Greek roots. And it's not like I remember. Mostly what I remember from that or have gotten from it is that it's helpful to know them or to know how to look it up. To think about it like when you're thinking of a word and what it means. Not that I always remember, but what is Wolf Parkins White? That's not one I've heard of. Good morning, Chrissy. Will you be able to do a lot of stitching today? A lot. An extra cluster of nerves behind your heart that will cause a sudden increase in your heart rate for no reason. Interesting. It runs in your family. Oh. No work. Yay. I know, with it being Saturday, it can be all day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Shauna, you still have to work today. All right, Tina. We'll see you. What? Oh, like for the whole, like, anybody in Maryland or just like state employees, Jen? He just says it was high blood pressure because of big stress from what I like. Yeah. Just have to take your daughter to work at 7 and then nice. I have somewhere I need to be in my morning at 10. And other than that, I'll just be stitching away all day long. I'm thinking it'll be about 3 hours before I have to go, and then it'll be like 8 hours afterwards. Or 8 or 9. We'll see how long I last into the night, I guess. But I will need to get a minimum of 11 hours today in total of stitching in order to meet my 24 hours over the whole weekend. Tax credits for companies. Okay. I've anybody I know who have gone to 4 10-hour days have really liked it. Because a lot of times they were feeling like they had to work overtime anyway, and so this way they were guaranteed like that extra day off. You've done a lot on your reindeer today. Good. Are you feeling like that'll be a finish soon? Oh, 4 8-hour days. So they're like not shifting. That will be interesting then. Because that just means less time, period. And then, like, what does that mean for people's, like, salaries, or if you get paid by the hour? Well, right. Like, I understand that. I just want to know how it works for people's wages. Because somebody who is paid hourly and now is losing 8 full hours of work because of something like that, that would be really hard. Oh my gosh, please go in. There we go. The tax credit is supposed to help keep pay the same. Well, it'll be interesting to see, like, if that passes and how that plays out over time. Where is my nose is itchy. I know. Sometimes you go with the color that you want, especially if you already have it. I'm gonna open my curtains real quick because the sun will start coming up, and I think that will help me, like, feel more awake. Dang, Jen. And I guess it's the state, so they just let it accrue, your leave accrue. Sick leave accrues, but vacation doesn't. I see. Well, all of this I just stitched. Good morning, Rachel. How are you today? Do you use it? I guess sometimes you do because you tried to go on a cruise twice. You try. Yeah. One, two, three. Can everyone hold you accountable today? You need to go on a run and work on your presentation. Sure thing. I can tell you that in a couple hours I will be gone for a bit, so if you need some like a time frame, that might be a good time frame. You can't get yourself to exercise, you'll be no help. So sometimes I know having time frames like those are helpful. Oh gosh. The problem with the yawning right now is that it's actually like making my stomach weird, and I mean, my stomach does not need help being weird right now, but anyway, it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. I just counted and I don't remember what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. And One. There we go. Sometimes I exercise. Exercise is one of those things, like, the more stress I feel, the less I'm able to exercise. So it's been a while outside of like my dance classes. Oh, we're gonna do some. Oh my gosh. I'm yawning like crazy. And why can't I remember the number? This one. 17110. And I think it's the 3-strand because I can't remember that. Yes, 3 strands. Working on this dimensions kit right now is like a lot to remember to check. Like, what color, how many strands, is it full cross, is it half cross, let alone follow the pattern. Oy. Exercise makes you ill due to a weird condition I have. Well, that's a good reason to not exercise, Jen. I remember when I was talking to the neuropsychologist, I remember like, I was like, really? Stress? Like, is the reason for all of things? Maybe not all of things, but like, pretty much. And I remember that feeling like so almost lame. Like, well, that's lame. It's lame that it's all stress. And I'm like, why? Why would it matter what it is? Like, why do I feel like stress is not a good reason for having the challenges that I do? Like, it's not like I want there to be something else wrong. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I don't want there to be something else wrong. I did at the time, I think. I felt like it would be easier than like, and you're stressed all the time. I think also because like stress means different things to different people. And so like when you say, well, stress causes like my it does physical things, they're like, well, yeah, so just like don't be stressed. Like, I have an overactive immune system, and if you sweat, my body will act like the sweat. Oh, wow. will act like the sweat in. So is that any kind of sweat then? So even in like hot weather kind of sweat? Because that would be hard. Granted, I don't really sweat. I don't sweat easily. So I have a different thing with the sweat. And it just gives me heat headaches. Just. It's different. It does sound painful. Like, good morning, Samantha. How are you today? I'm yawning a lot here. You never get sick, which is why you have over 1,000 hours of sick leave accrued. We are a strange group of people. Maybe I just gathered the strange girly. Like, she's strange like me. You're sick. I'm sorry. Like a functional sick or like down and out sick? Hi, Bex. How are you? Oh my gosh. Maybe if you could bring your immune system down by sharing it with others, that would help. Would help all around. Yawnings are contagious. I'm sorry that. Oh, strep throat. I've never had strep throat, but I know a lot of people who have had it, so. You didn't even get COVID over Christmas. Oops. Move the camera. My bad. I wish I weren't yawning because it's actually activating my gag reflex. Like, isn't that ridiculous? Um, I feel like it's ridiculous anyway. I have a pretty good immune system, just not overactive like yours. And I'm okay with that. Good is fine enough for me. Ooh, some good couple hours of stitching for you, Bex. Coffee to help with the yawning. I know, but I'm not anywhere near coffee. I'd have to go get it. The sun is also still coming up, and sometimes that'll make a difference. And I definitely don't feel rested from during the night, so there's that. I don't know. I'm here, I'm present. I'm not great. I'm not terrible. I'm okay. He's a very good sleeper. It's not a bad thing there. I don't mind anybody else being a good sleeper so long as they don't try to tell me that I should, like, just go to sleep. Like, if I could just go to sleep, don't you think that I would be? I can't even fathom that, Jen. That's, yeah, I just can't. 8 hours plus a 1 to 1.5 hour nap every day. Mm, daughter has gone off with your parents for a few hours. You can have a break. She's going to go to her other granddad, but his car broke yesterday. I feel like I got pay Bali. That's fine. I'm going to pick it up today, Jen. I did not get it yesterday. But I will get it either before my thing this morning or afterwards. Made Probably will depend on what time I get out the door. Depends on whether I pick it up before or after. But I will definitely be picking it up. like a toddler gets cranky without any naps. I mean, there are definitely people who need them, so I get that. Like, they just need a lot of sleep. If I nap during the day, it often will disrupt my sleep at night. And then it's this really bad cycle of like, not like, bad sleep at night. So you end up needing a nap during the day, which then mess up your sleep at night, which like just perpetuates the cycle. So if I nap during the day, it's usually like I'm sick or like really bad. I'm not sure that I want to sleep to as much as he does though. Just like maybe enough to where I feel rested. Like that's the ability I want. The snoring suggests otherwise. Isn't it funny how like personal sleep is and how much you can't like you can kind of affect it but not really affect it. Hey Steve, how are you this morning? Oh, my kid needs her sleep. She can function without sleep, but only short term. And then she starts getting really cranky. So she can definitely sleep like 10, 11 hours at night. She does it always, but. Oh my gosh. Whew. Not so newborn now. I mean, 5 months still is kind of newborn, I think. It still feels so bitty compared to what they grow into. But it is nice that that means that his wife gets to get some adequate sleep. Until you fully wake up. I'm still not fully awake, so I don't know how well this is gonna help. I'm trying to fill in here, but there's like some full crosses, and I don't know that I want to go into the full crosses. Okay, what's this one? This right here, right? 17031. Light sky blue. Why are you stuck? Where are you stuck? Okay, thank you. 17031. 3 strands? 3 strands, you guys. Hey, Leanne. Oh, I'm glad I'm among a bunch of people still trying to wake up. But I really hope that it doesn't take you as long as it's taking me, because it's an hour and a half now, and since I've gone, that's crazy that it's been an hour and a half. Maybe she likes his versions of the stories, and that's why. And that's why she wants him to read. And I apologize for all of you sympathetic yawners who may be here right now. Maybe once I actually get dressed and go do the thing I need to do, perhaps that will help me feel more awake. It's not helping that yawning is activating my gagging. That doesn't help at all. I need to feel rested. That's what I need. And I don't. So. So what time do you normally wake up then, Jen? If you have to get to work at 6. I guess you live like 3 minutes, so it's not like you have to go far. Okay, this one is only 3 pages long. Well, does it bother your friend at all? Like, or is he cool with doing it? I'm waking up at 5 as normal. That's not, I guess, too bad. Rachel, I saw your comment come through on Discord about your paper copies, your paper patterns. Um, I don't make working copies necessarily because I want to give my patterns away. I do it because that way if I like damage my pattern in some way, or if there's like back stitching or French knots or something and I feel like I might need like a fresh copy, I like to reference something fresh for that. So that's why I make a working copy, is so I know that I always have something fresh to go back and look to, or if I need to. You're having a pajama and stitching day today? Nice, Leanne. I am stitching the majority of today here, live, with all of you. Um, I will I will be gone for a couple hours in the morning, but otherwise I'm stitching all day. I've never done a sleep study. Um, I haven't done it. I'm not sure how that it would be very helpful, since I do know that it is a lot of stress definitely is playing a part, and so my focus right now is to try to deal with that side of it. And I'm working with my doctor a little better with about it. um, so so we'll see. I guess we'll see. I think if he thinks that I need a sleep study, I would do it. But as of right now, no. Fortunately not. She gets away with it because she's so adorable. He calls her the little princess, so she expects him to treat her as one. He's kind of brought it on himself. I'm glad. And that's a cute relationship. Or mess up your highlight, yes, Jen. Right? Mirror patterns are so weird. Like, they're huge, and folding them where you need to would cause like this constant crease that you would probably eventually ruin. I don't know. Mirror patterns are weird. Did the sleep study help you with anything, girly? I had I was talking to a friend several months ago. She had a sleep study done. And she felt like afterwards she was just kind of left hanging. Like, well, this isn't your problem. And she was like, well, okay, but there's something wrong. So what do I do now? Like, she just kind of felt like it didn't really go anywhere for her. I'm thinking that this is like the snow stuff coming from her hand. Because I'm pretty sure this is her hand right here. So that's fun. They just told you you were a bad sleeper. See, like, how helpful is that? Like, thanks, I knew that. Maybe they would have something different if you went back then, girly. Oh, you're catching that, huh, Steve? Mm-hmm. Yep. Every time. I haven't been back to the store. I think I'm going to get like vitamin water instead because I did not make a face during that. But I have this bottle, so I feel like not that I have to, but like I don't have anything else right now. You know when you're like, I came to the doctor for help and this is not hopeful. Like I came in here telling you that that was the problem or this is what I'm struggling with. Goodness. When I'm highlighting this chart, I feel like I'm like coloring it in. like a coloring page, kind of coloring it in. That's what I meant. Because obviously I'm coloring it in. It's highlighter. It's colors. I mean, the doctor's not wrong, but it's not exactly what they mean when they say it. It's one thing I really like about my doctor is that, um, like, he accepts you saying, like, this is what I'm experiencing. He's like, all right, well, let's see what we can do about this. Um, he doesn't ever question, like, my symptoms or effects or something. I was talking to my dance studio owner, and um, she she says she's been on one kind of medication or another, like an anxiety meds, since her oldest was born. And she said, like, if she misses more than a couple days of her dosage, like, she can absolutely tell a difference. She's like, it's just a chemical balance, it's fine. Like, you can't you can't fix that on your own, really. Oh my gosh. There's like something right here. There we go. Got it. I mean, I'm sure there are things that you can do on your own, but, or at least try. I don't know. Get a new doctor. Yep. Didn't tell me anything on how to deal with it or suggest anything to help. Pretty much carry on doing what you've been doing, which, yeah. Yeah, well, you said that if you go back there, you would just request any other doctor but him, right? That's this doctor, isn't it? You know, like, life is too hard to deal with, like, harder, like, to make things harder on purpose like that. Put your full coverage question on Facebook because they got a lot of opinions. And my guess is that it didn't really help you decide, huh, girly? But maybe some people gave you, like, some things to think about. You can get very anxious just from the thought of the onset of, yeah, like the possibility of, is that kind of what you mean? Like, the possibility of, like, a little attack, or mini or major. Because I get that too. Like, you know, I get anxious and stressed because of the potential, and it doesn't always mean that that thing's gonna work. She shouldn't have to take her medicine because of everybody. I mean, there's that. One of my friends saw him for anxiety. She said he was so petulant. Oh my gosh, at least it's not just your experience, but man, obviously that doctor needs. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good doctor, but obviously not in this realm. Keep away from big full coverage as first project. Except Treasure Hunt Bookshelf is definitely one of my first projects. It's the one I do the most, you know? The fear of fear hypothesis. I'm really looking forward to, I don't know, but one of the medications that I'm picking up today is like for those moments to um, to use in the moments when you can feel it kind of spiking and you just need it to drop quickly. So you know it's a use as needed. You're not even supposed to take it every day because it's whatever it's called, addictive. But that's something like that is really helpful in those kind of moments, Steve, because you're like, oh, like, let me try to nip this in the bud. Oh, three. 1, 2, 3. You might need medicine. um, what I'm really curious about, like, going into this medication, like, so through these conversations that we've been having over like the last week, um, like there's there's been like this whole spectrum of people. There's been people who have been on anxiety medication, um, or anxiety and depression meds for either a long time or like they've just started, whatever. And then we have people who, um, like they don't have a need for that in their life. And then we've got people who kind of like where I am, where we need to explore that option. It's been really, really interesting and I think very helpful, not just for me, but for other people to like hear from the spectrum of people who, um, like, haven't needed it, but also people who have needed it, whether they're still on it or have gotten off of it. I know it's been helpful for me to help, um, to help me think through like my own situation and realize that it's just kind of necessary, you know, like at times. And maybe not forever, but it's been long enough that I know it's not just like this short-term thing. You know, like I can't just deal with this one situation because this one situation is kind of brought on by a bigger problem. It was like an event that was acting upon a bigger problem, if that makes sense. Medications each work differently for each person. That's yes. And I think that also is maybe a struggle because they've tried it once and haven't, like, it's hard to keep going and trying to find a different medication. You tried years ago, but you have an overreaction to mood altering substances. On the lowest dose within 4 days, it made you pass out on the floor. Well, that would be a reason to, like, be hesitant to try again. Did you try with, I'm just curious, did you try with like other, um, with a different kind of medication? Or what, did you try enough that you're just like, it's kind of all of those medications? I have, Ruth. Um, I know I have anyway. Um, Not just square. Sometimes I vary up the counts, but I do, and it can help at times. I feel like the more options we have available to us, like the better the toolbox, right? So that we can grab what we need in the moment. Yes, Jen, I know. We've talked about medication multiple times. Like, I do know that. Um, but I think this is what has allowed me to see the need for it long term. Not maybe not see the need, but like understand and accept. Because anytime that we have talked about it in the past, I've been like, okay, yeah, kind of, maybe, sort of, like, I mean, you know how I was like. But like, I still wanted something that's like a uh, temporary thing, right? Um, I don't know. Like, I didn't want to feel like, I think maybe, possibly, I didn't want to feel like I had to be dependent on something external in order. But I don't know. That's probably really weird because I still thought that I needed something external. It took me a while, but I'm here now. I'm here at the point where I'm okay that, and even looking forward to it. Like, I'm looking forward to exploring what medication can do for me. Yes, Jen, yes. And honestly, I think a good one thing that's definitely helped is realizing like that I don't feel. Somebody said, it might have been Rachel, um, like the opposite love isn't necessarily hate. It's like the absence of emotion, and it was only like a couple weeks ago, like maybe the turn right around New Year's is when I realized like that's where I was with um, oh, I'm not saying my thinking was correct, Jen. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's how it occurred to me. I don't know. Like um but yeah, like right around that I kind of was like, "Oh, I don't hate her, but I don't I don't love her. I would do totally fine without her in my life." And that has started unlocking other things in me and realizing um like other holds where she still has in my life that I don't want. Um, you were prescribed antidepressant meds while pregnant, but decided to not take them because you didn't want to start a new med while pregnant. And as soon as baby was born, I felt back to myself. My body was stabilized again. Yeah. I'm glad that stabilized for you. I just am now learning that it's not mine won't. Mine won't without help. How you feel about them and what to do about them. Like what is your relationship now with them? That I think is what can trip me up still. I know normally I feel like medications while pregnancy are very carefully considered. Sometimes I realize something, I'm like, I feel like this comes because of my mom, and then I'm like, ugh, not another thing. It's become clear that, oh, I relate to that, Jen, for sure. But that doesn't mean that I'm willing to give her what she thinks that she needs from me. Good morning. I'm still learning totally how to do that, Jen. But I'm better. I'm better with her than I ever have been. But I still feel like I give more than I should for my mental health or emotional health, and therefore my physical health. My day is okay right now. I am. It's okay. That's my day. Um, you got prescribed antibiotics for an infection in your last week of pregnancy. Read the I mean, most of them do say don't take if you're pregnant. So I'm always like, why would doctors do things like that when you're pregnant? Anyway, you have a great support system in your son and husband. Yeah, that's been Kaylin for me, but she's a child still. Like, that, she should not. It's too much for her, I think, at times to be. I think she's willing. Let me say it that way. She's willing, but that doesn't make it like, I don't know, to have the burden of being my support system. I think Kaylin's dad, I think he wants to be a support system, but struggles at not just knowing how to do it, but actually doing it. Especially on like a regular basis. He's good when I'm blowing up. He always was, but like in between the blowing up, which is when I really need the support, because then I will blow up less. That was something he and I never was able to figure out. But I think he wants to be. It's just that wanting to be and actually being are two different things. She triggered you really bad over the holiday. You had talked a little bit. We talked a little bit about that. I do remember. Life is hard, y'all. Life is hard. You know, Jen, I've I've been mindful of that with Kaylin, um, like, and watching for signs of her being affected in a traumatic way, and she's not, I think, because we have such a good open communication. We can talk about um, a lot of things, but she also feels needed. Um, and like she can both feel cared for but also needed, so that it becomes like this, what is the word when the relationship is two-way and works for both people, like she feels that. It wouldn't be as hard if certain people could stop making it about how they are feeling. Yeah. Kaylin's dad did that too. My mom does it all the time. Kaylin's dad did it too. I think he does it less, but I'm not sure how much of that is because we're apart. I I managed to speak to a midwife who checked with the doctor. He said they're safe to take as long as you're not in the first 12 weeks. Oh. So you were able to take the antibiotics then, Bex? All right, Shauna. Go be a mom. All people are all going through things, and how it affects them is unique to them. That I wish was more readily accepted and lived. Because not only are we wired differently to begin with, but then we experience things that wires us differently. And so two people experiencing the same event right now would just have different reactions. That's what it is. Seeing these like lighter bits in here makes me happy. I approve. Jen, you know things. That doesn't make you the same thing as like a know-it-all. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing that you know things that you can share. Like, not at all. Oh man, the rest of the section is okay. That's okay. I'll do it anyway. I'm gonna do it. I just need to remember I need to do some full cross. Why are we stuck again? Thank you. You spent a lot of time and money accumulating this knowledge. Right. and you are willing to share it, and I am willing, at least, to benefit from it. If we all had all the knowledge, like, first of all, that's just impossible. It's impossible for all of us to have all the knowledge. Well, hopefully not the sweat, Jen, because that gives you painful cysts. Someone might hear something they never heard before, and that's enough. Exactly. And I think, like, don't underestimate that, because I I have gotten so many comments about, um, people like, well, I don't regularly comment, but you've done this for me. Like, this is the impact you have, and so you don't know who's not saying something, but hearing what it is that you are, or seeing what it is that you are saying. Your counseling colleague says you're a natural therapist and should have gone into counseling. You're like, well, I'm experienced. I'm actually putting in some full crosses in this piece. You spend a lot of time fighting the stigma. I mean, it seems like you would have to, because how are you going to be able to benefit people, or other people see the benefit, if you don't do that? Although it doesn't help when you experience, like, doctors like Bex, who, where's my, who dismiss mental health and things like that. I mean, you're gonna have to cross an ocean in order to smack him. You might have to take some of that sick leave time. Bex, honestly, I automatically assumed that he was an older doctor, when you initially told that story. Not to say that all older doctors have that struggle. They're just more likely to, I think. I mean, it's like my mom, who feels like people who are finding themselves is a bunch of like new age BS, right? Like, you, uh, they grew up with different knowledge and different understanding. And they don't always adapt well to it. A doctor should take the time to look at current research, but that doesn't mean that they will, nor that they will accept it. Right? I mean, which is kind of foolish, but whether it's foolish or not doesn't change it. That's what they're doing. Like, I'm not a medical person. I'm not, there's nothing in my history, or current, that is like, I'm a medical professional. Like, there's nothing about that. But, like, I want to be able to rely on people who are medical professionals, and it's a struggle when you can't. You should also read the patient notes, but they don't always. That's true. Another thing that I love about my doctor is that he he absolutely remembered who I was, even though I'm hardly in there, and he read the notes to like be sure that he remembered the details of what happened. Look how glowy this looks. That's so fun. It like is shining. I mean, it looks more like it's shining through the camera than in person, but like it looks so fun. My niece told her doctors 2 days prior that there was something wrong with the baby. If they would induced her 2 days prior, the baby would have survived. That makes that situation even more hard, Jen. Like, and I think you said she was like 37, 38 weeks. Like, they could have done something. That is upsetting. Does your doctor think you spend a lot of time doing handstands? It needs to be a partnership. Like, you and your doctor should have a partnership relationship because you know your body and they know the knowledge. Ideally, they know the knowledge. That and so communicating those two things and finding the middle ground, yeah. All the things. As long as they don't make you sweat, right, Jen? Okay. Need to try to put something real in my stomach here. I do have the pears next to me. I'm just not sure my body's quite ready for it, which is why I grabbed the shake. At least the gagging thing that was happening earlier, it's died down because I'm yawning less. Probably because the sun's much more out. Sometimes I'm like, it's ridiculous how affected everything is. Like, I think it's fascinating until it's like negative effects, I think. And then I'm like, dang it. So frustrating. Jen, are you hoping for a song here? Because I'm pretty certain that all the singing happened sometime after the pears. Do we need a morning concert here? psychosomatic is the only good knowledge Freud gave us. We need a healthy Suki? Okay. I'm trying. I'm working on it. I am sure the singing will be coming out in full force in the afternoon. Go, bear, go. I'm gonna run out of songs at this rate. Actually, I suppose there's like a whole host of songs that I don't know the lyrics to, so there's that. Right, Rachel? It looks like... It doesn't look quite this... It doesn't have the same glowy effect in person as it does on the screen, but I'm loving it through the screen. Totally loving it. I can even do the airplane thing one. Okay, guys, I'll get the Paris. It's right here. I did bring them up. Opening this. I'm getting juice out. I was really, really, really happy about what I ate yesterday. Like the amount that I got through felt so good to get to that point. Maybe what I need to do is when I go play the piano. So I have to go play piano for an event. And then I need to pick up my prescriptions. But then I should stop at the store for vitamin water so I don't have to drink this Gatorade any longer. And more of that chicken noodle soup because that was delicious yesterday. And I need more. I can eat it. I can eat it today. I don't have to... Tomorrow I'm trying mashed potatoes. And maybe green beans. I haven't decided about that one yet, though. don't have a nose plug, unfortunately. My kitchen's not in terrible shape right now, so I may be okay. It's usually like the other smells that can happen in the kitchen, like. But I did get in the fridge. Like, I had to get in the fridge for like my stuff this morning. It wasn't the best, but it also wasn't the worst. That's improvement. I know, Rachel. Like, I downed that soup last night so fast. Like, I took a bite and I was like, how's it doing? Good, let's eat it. All the things that tell me that I've got like this good trajectory. This color. What is the heart? Turquoise. 17167. 17167. Oh, it's a very light, pretty color. Jen, me too. But sometimes it doesn't take the strong. Usually it'll take a stronger smell to make me gag. But right now it doesn't take much strong. But we will see. Nobody else will be around. My brother won't be around whenever I do get to the soup. He'll be at work, so I will do what I must. Absolutely, Jen. I don't even have to do it. Like, yeah. I like to stay on top of dishes. Oh, that was the wrong direction. Having trouble. Just a little bit of floss trouble, that's all. Alright, enjoy your run. Don't forget your presentation later. You had, okay, why do I now have a mental image of Suki climbing into the fridge? You just didn't walk into class yesterday and her perfume was so strong I could smell it 6 feet away with a, yeah. There's definitely times I'm like, what is that? It's not, I hear things too that Kaylin can't. I'm like, don't you hear that? It's driving me crazy. She's like, nope, can't hear it. I just want to, oh wait, it's 2. I did all of that work for a 3 strand and it's really just 2. Oh my gosh. 2 is so much easier than 3. Whatever, I did all that work for nothing. I avoid the cleaning aisle in the store. I don't like going down the cleaning aisle or either aisle next to the cleaning aisle. Free Starbucks for taking her to work so early and messing up your stitching day. Chrissy. But now you can get back into it, right? Do you have to pick her up later? Ooh, I'm in a big screen. 65 inches is huge. Good thing my face is a little portion of that. Oh no, I can't do dryer sheets at all. Yep. Who knows? Who knows what it would be like right now? I saw you messaging Jess on Discord. Good morning. You were also probably like very asleep when I started. How has your family 24 hours of crafting been so far? You've been awake since 6, but didn't you pick up your phone until 8? Well, that's not a bad thing. Well, good for you, Susie, for showering first. And starting soup, excellent. Nathan decided he needs to wait until he's older to diamond paint. Jason was not feeling like coloring, so he did about 20 minutes. So it's a girl thing. It's a group they get together on the third Saturday to stitch and craft, and you're taking. Oh, I love that. Oh. Well, maybe he'll try again when he's older. Oh, the sneeze. Jess, maybe YouTube didn't notify you that I was live because I was yawning a lot earlier, and that was activating my gagging. So maybe it was just helping your like sympathetic gagging thing. Oh, maybe just giving him like the different tool. Yeah. It was so weird. It was like, I'm gagging because I'm yawning. That's fantastic. I'm special right now. I already know the answer to that one is no, Jen. But I know she wants that one now that she knows it exists. One, two, three, four. As it has been stated several times in live streams. Yeah. Yup. I feel like anybody watching this on replay is probably like, I've heard that before. I've already heard that one. But you know, people come and go on these, and so we cover the same topics a lot. It's fine. No big deal. It can be hard to do all the different crafts, though. And your husband says buy it because you can make more money tomorrow. You want the Mandy Manzana 10th Doctor from Haid? Oh. He is aware, though, Chrissy, that his cave would not have it for, like, several years, right? That he doesn't have yet until summer. He's just preparing. He's planning. We're reaching the point where I need to start watching the time. I need to still get dressed to go. So I probably have another like 15 minutes, which makes a nice even 3 hours. So 15 minutes until I need to get off. He's listening and said yes. I'm not sure that I've seen this chart from Haid yet. I'm gonna have to go look it up. Oh, you were talking about that. It's like 77,000 stitches? Something like that? I just very suddenly have like nervous feelings settling into my stomach and I don't know why. But that's what it is. He said, okay, let's go. Like, we're really not that far apart. Like, that's easily, like, I don't know, day trip or something. Especially if we, like, met in the middle or something. You got Undersea Dreaming in the mail. You're trying really hard to only have one time and waiting with it at a time. How far are you along on the Star Wars one now, Jess? You might have the Darth Vader in your craft room. About halfway, look at that. And you've done other stuff too. You haven't just diamond painting because you've stitched lately too. We can meet in Fredericksburg and hit the Goodwill bins. What, do they have like a Goodwill, like, warehouse type thing in Fredericksburg? Could be fun. That actually sounds like it could be fun. Like, rummaging is fun. Yeah. I like this idea of his. I've never been, so I think that sounds fun. You're not too far for Virginia if you take maybe 6 hours to settle. Once I hit Virginia, it takes 700 hours and a sacrifice to the gas to get through it. The closer, if you're driving north-south through Virginia, the closer you get to DC, the worse it is. That's for certain. I feel like driving like east-west through Virginia is awful. Not as bad as many of the states in the West, though. Got an entire box of Vera Bradley for $1.67 a pound. Well, I feel like we need to make this happen. Like, for sure. Okay, I have like 6 minutes left before I can go. But I just finished my string. Oh, I know, I can take pictures. I'm calling this like 3 days worth of daily 30. Yesterday's today and tomorrow. Winchester 300 miles, and the next one's Winchester 900. Oh, that's the wrong button, Suki. Push the wrong button. You may never make it to Winchester. So now what I have to decide is what I'm going to stitch on next. Like, once I come back, what do I work on? I've been through this a time or two, yes. From your front door to Wytheville, exactly 5 hours, so not a bad drive at all. No. Especially if you're gonna stay, like, overnight. I am really, really loving seeing this snow come in. It's super pretty. Yeah. So, it would be really fun to, like, be able to host. Like, rent out a big house or something. And, like, everybody come. Everybody who's within driving range, come for a couple nights. I'm gonna finish these pears. I got my pear calories. Yep, that was good. Good pear calories, guys. Got them in. Okay. So, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna write down that I have 3 more hours. For a total of 14 hours. I need 10 more for this weekend. So, that's good. Well, I have a whole
boatload of projects that I could stitch on. I think what I'm trying to decide is if I want to stitch on one of the ones that I've been working on. Like, do I pull out the twisted band sampler again? Here. Let me grab my board here. This is not a complete picture of what I've got. I don't think I want to pull out a full coverage though. So, I've got like, do I pull out my twisted band sampler again? Do I pull out Nomies because I had been wanting to? Do I pull out one that uses a variegated thread? That one's always very pretty. Chatelaine? That's intriguing. Do I pull out a fancy lady like Sabrina? Or, I know, the rabbit one should probably be one that I... This one, this rabbit, is probably one that I should pull out. But like, I'll have several hours to stitch. I probably won't just stick with one project. As long as it doesn't make me cry. I make no promises, Jen. I make 0 promises. Crying's good, right? It is. It's good. We're gonna say it's good. So like I do, I have a lot of options and I just don't know which way I'm feeling. I think there's some projects that I'm like, I don't necessarily want to stitch on that, but that's still like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects that I'm like, one of these 6. So we'll see. Twisted band sampler already got its allotted tears. Yeah, but maybe because it got its tears, it will be okay, right? Like, because I pushed through that moment. But at the same time, maybe I need a break from it. I don't know. You have D&D today, so you might have to miss this afternoon. I kind of figure that I will definitely be live starting at noon until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So, depending on how long, we'll see. Yeah. Because I need to get to at least 20, yeah, I need at least 8 more hours today of stitching. You have no more tears to give. Oh, so no twisted band samplers so that I don't cry, so you don't cry. I gotcha. Girlie's boat is the rabbit and a fancy lady. I do have 2 fancy ladies, and so I would not mind stitching either one of those also. The problem is, Bex, is I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's like 5 of them that jump out at me. So maybe what I'll do is start with the rabbit one because I know I need to get some stitches on the rabbit. So I'll give the rabbit some attention and then figure out what I'm going to stitch next. Maybe that's what I'll do. Because then at least I have a choice to get started and then I'll figure it out from there. So, all right, my friends, I'm off. I got to change and leave. When I come back, I should have my prescriptions in hand. And you're going to be stitching on Queen of Freedom, so I should do a fancy lady. Okay, then we'll have to decide on which fancy lady, because I have two. So, I will see you all later. Thanks for hanging out. Everyone who is here, much love.